Okay, you guys, I'm back with part two of my PK series. I know it's been like, what, a week or two since I posted like the very first one, but you guys have to understand, like, I'm in school. It's like April, so I got one more month, so I'm really like cramming. I'm starting to cram for like finals in school. So, let's just go ahead and dive into part two of my video. Let's go. One more thing, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get it. All right, you all. So let's go and get into it. So today's topic is like really difficult. I think it's a hard one because I feel like a lot of people actually experience this. So I'm just gonna say it. Today's topic is church hurt. Yes, we are the one of the top people to experience church hurt. So let's get into it. I'm looking at my list, so work with me. Number one is we can't easily trust people. It is hard to trust people who you practically known all your life, but as you get older, you realize they're possibly not really for you like you think they're for you. Like for example, giving us gifts that are ways to buy us in a sense. And it's actually been a really long time since I personally experienced this. I think the last time I experienced this was I was probably like 12. Just buying constant gifts, and gifts come with eventually like, well, I got you this and I have questions about such and such and such, or can you pass this message on to such and such and such. And I mean, it was like, for me personally, I learned how to not attach feeling to gifts, period. When people give me stuff, I'm more hesitant. I'm more cautious. Even when people outside of church give me gifts, it makes me very cautious. Like, what is your reasoning to give me this gift? It's not Christmas. It's not my birthday. So, are you buying this because you're being genuine, or are you giving me this because you want something at the end of the day, or you're trying to get closer to my father, you're trying to get closer to my mother? So it kind of builds a detachment in a sense. Like now when people, I'm trying to get out of this, but now when people give me stuff, sometimes I'm very hesitant, or I'm very cautious to accepting it, or like in the background I'm like, oh, thank you, why are you really buying me this, what are your true motives? And it's because that it's happened constant times when people give me stuff and then they end up hurting me or hurting my feelings because they have ulterior motives of giving me gifts. So I think that's the number one thing. Like it's very hard to sometimes trust people. Of course, you eventually learn who you can and can't trust, who you can talk to, who you can't talk to. There are many, but there are few. So that's what I'll leave number one off with. Number two, who prays for the PKs? Who prays for us, really? We get depressed, we get hurt, we have feelings, we go through things on a daily. We go through a whole lot of crazy stuff. And my question is like, who genuinely prays for them? Like all the time you hear, oh, Pastor, I'm praying for you, Mother, I'm praying for you, or we're thinking about you. Or some people say, oh, I'm going to come visit you, or I'm going to give you a call, or, I'm going to check in on you. But they really don't, at the end of the day, they really don't call to check in on you. They don't send you a text saying, oh, I'm praying for you, I'm thinking about you, or you don't really often see that, or if you do see it at all. But when we come to church feeling some type of way, or we feel hurt, or we express openly that we are hurt, we express to the church that we're hurt, we're depressed, and we've gone through things, but we feel like nobody has checked in on us, and it's almost like they take it in and then they brush it off their shoulders. So it's almost like, who truly really does care about the PKs? Because they go through stuff, like a lot of stuff. Because like, if you watched my first video, the pressure of people constantly judging you, constantly watching you, constantly putting barriers on your shoulder, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So my question is, who is praying for the PKs? Not just like brush off prayer, like generally like praying and fasting for us, because we go through a lot of things. We have to make a lot of choices, just like everybody else does, if not more. So who prays for us? I'm gonna let y'all think on that. Number 3, we put on fake smiles a lot of times to please people. I'm gonna go on and say it. A lot of times when I'm smiling, I'm not really happy, or I'm not really feeling good, but I still put on a smile because I know there are people who probably are going through worse than what I'm going through at the moment. But I put it on so that people feel like things are going good, or things are going absolutely terrible wrong in my life. Like, I have had some struggles in college that nobody knows about, but I came to church, praise the Lord, how are you? Smiling, working with your hard-headed kids, and I'm still pressed forward. I put on a smile, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do this, put on a fake smile. We do it too. We at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday services, we tired, but you know what? Praise the Lord. How are you doing? Can I help you? Can I do this for you? I'll watch such and such, I'll hold such and such. We go through a lot once again, but we put on a smile. It's almost like, what's it called? Oh my goodness. I was watching an interview. I think it was an interview about like the first family. It's the first family smile. You smile, you wave, you walk, you talk a certain way. And sometimes you really just don't feel up to it. You really don't feel like being bothered, but you still press forward. And it's a job. I mean, sometimes it's very hard, sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's actually a really genuine smile. So I just want to say that sometimes we fake it till we make it. We really do. We fake it till we make it sometimes. Let's see. Number 4, we sacrifice a lot. A lot of times people see the outside picture. It's like, oh, you have nice things. Oh, you go here. Oh, you go do this. You can go do that. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, yes. I won't say that I have it terrible. I mean, speaking for me personally, there may be other people who have it worse than me. I'm not saying that I have it absolutely terrible. But growing up, I have gone through things like, for a child, like, I know this is about to sound real selfish, but for a child, think about it from a child perspective, like a 6-year-old child, Christmas, and you're donating your toys to other people who don't have toys. Not thinking from an adult perspective, think from a child's perspective. How are you feeling as a child on Christmas when your toys are donated? You're not too happy at all. Or, I'm just being really blunt honest with y'all. Or there have been days when, like, sometimes we be eating crackers for dinner. Like, People be calling like, oh, my house bill, I can't pay it, or my light bill, or my family doesn't have food to eat, or such and such happened and I need help. My family is a very giving family, and people see it as we have a lot, but sometimes there are times when we didn't have and we still gave. There are times when giving clothes and money and we didn't have it to give, but we still give. We still sacrifice. We're struggling and hungry, but we still gave. And, that comes with, being a part of the church. That is sacrifice, because, it's just going to come 7 times 7 times 7 later. But sometimes it was really, really hard. There were times when I cried. There are times when I sobbed, because I was like, I don't understand it. Times when I struggled with my own faith when I was younger, because it was like, I don't understand how we're going through these things, but we're also doing these things. There's so much sacrifice beyond the front field that goes on. And some people do understand that. Some people are like, we understand that the first family sacrificed a lot, but there's some people who see the outside picture. They don't look deeply in to see what actually really goes on. There's so many things that I could say, but I'm not going to say. But just know that there's a lot more sacrifice than what you all think. And when you think about it, when you have 3-4 people calling you to tell you that their lights are off or they need help with their house bill, I'm going to let y'all think on that too. Add that up and calculate that up. Really think about it. Really think about it. And you have a child in college. You have a child who's out of college trying to repay those debts. Calculate all that together. House bill, car bills. Calculate. Somebody get the calculator. Do it. Okay. Number 5. People are quick to talk about us, but don't want to pray for us. This connects with something that I said earlier. There's not too much to really say more on this one. They're very quick to say, oh, such and such hasn't been to church. Such and such hasn't come to church to help out. Let me back up on that one. Such and such hasn't come to church. Mind you, we were here before you were here. We were here when the church started, when there was nobody to help clean the church, scrub the floors, flush the toilet, clean the bathroom, vacuum the floors. I mean, really think about it. It was years, okay? Years before a lot of people came and no one was there to help turn off all the lights, turn on all the lights, warm up the church, cool off the church, wash the windows, set up classrooms, set up the church in general, paint the walls, clean the floors, set up the chairs. It's a lot. And those who know where my church is, that church is a big church. A humongous church. So I feel like for people to say, or not saying that I personally heard this, but I'm just saying in general, for people to say they don't help out, y'all just think about it before you say it. Deeply think about it before you spew a rumor or say something without looking at the bigger picture or really thinking about what you're saying to somebody else. Because we were here before you. Mornings when you tucked in your bed sleeping at 6 o'clock on a Sunday, guess who's at church? Not you. So, there's just a lot of things that I feel like people don't understand, and they're quick to judge us just because we live in the pastor's house. They are very quick. They'll be like, well, that's the pastor kids. They should know better. But you have to understand, we're kids. We struggle with stuff. We have flesh just like you. try not to be so hard. I mean, really. And if you're a parent, then you know the struggle of bringing up children in the world. Really. If you're a parent, you know the process that goes into really growing. I'm going to call it growing because it's almost like growing a plant, growing a child in the ministry, growing a child in church. And it's not the easiest thing in the whole wide world, especially if you're working with a teenager. It's not easy. So I would have to say, please be very conscious of what you say. Because once again, they're dealing with many things. They're dealing with depression. A lot of things go on within that. A lot of them process the thought of committing suicide. They process just leaving the church in general because they're so hurt. They can't understand that the people that they sacrifice so much to, sacrifice their family, their parents to, could treat them so dirty or treat them like as if they don't matter at all, or as if the ministry could do without them, or they're not as important when they're really, really important. And one of the most precious things that I've ever heard my mother say to someone was, though you are starting a ministry, don't lose your children to ministry. And that's one of the key reasons I really, really love my parents, because they understand, yes, we sacrifice so much, but you all are not worth losing to a ministry. My parents will legit sacrifice for us. They understand that we sacrifice so much, my brother and I. So it's really important if you are starting a ministry, if you're a pastor or your mother, to really understand if you have children, don't lose your children to ministry. Like, include them. Don't lose them to the world. Remember them. Let them know that they're important, that they're loved. So I think that is very, very, very important to think in mind when you're thinking about the pastor kids. Number 6, setup. This one is really funny. Really funny. When people try to set us up with their nephews or their nieces or cousins or children in general, please stop doing it. This is not modern day eHarmony in the church. Christian mingle. What do they have out there now? Black. We did not ask you all to set us up with your nephews and nieces. We understand that y'all care about us enough to see us thrive in our love life. And we also know that's another way of you getting into our family. We're not stupid. Some of y'all try to set up so that y'all can get in our family. Stop. Please. Stop. Love will happen when it happens. Nobody forced you. Well, I hope nobody forced you into love. Love will happen when it happens. Please stop trying to marry us off. Please stop trying to set us up on blind dates. Y'all not helping. When you try to set us up with somebody, that actually makes us like really not like that person, because you don't give us a chance to genuinely talk to that person. Or when we are talking to someone, y'all have y'all eyes all on us, like, and that makes us feel weird. Y'all observing us like little lab rats. So please stop trying to set us up with your family members or people that you know. If we don't have a relationship like that, please don't try to set me up. That's me saying, please stop trying to set me up. Period. Or trying to predict who I'm going to marry, or predict when I'm going to get married, or predict the position that I'm going to marry. As when I say position, I mean I'm going to end up marrying a pastor or a minister and become a church mother. Or he's going to marry a woman and become a pastor. Stop trying to predict our paths. We live in the house with our prophet, okay? We know our paths, we know the direction, and we don't need your help in that area. Thank you. But you can continue to pray for us that God sends us the person that's meant for us. But stop trying to set us up. Please, stop. Really. Thank you. Moving on. Last but not least, pet peeve. I feel like a lot of these were kind of low-key pet peeves, but I guess another pet peeve when like people constantly compliment and they're not genuine compliments. They're like a suck up compliment. Like, oh, I'm so proud of you. When you genuinely really are not proud of me, if I were to ask you what are you proud of me for, you got to sit there for at least 10, 15 minutes to think about what you're proud of me for. Okay. And like the you were pretty or you're gorgeous comments, like, yes, that's thankful, because sometimes I've really struggled with that. Like back in my day, like I used to struggle with weight and like having somebody call me chubby or chunky, and like because I came from like a path of like track and I was mad skinny, and then that freshman 5, 20, 30 hit me, and I was struggling. I was just like, I used to be this girl with abs and skinny and college hit, and I gained some weight. Thank the Lord I lost it back. I got control of it. But I used to struggle with that. So sometimes, yes, those compliments make me feel good. But I've always been a person to be able to sense when somebody is not being genuine with me, and when you just say it just to say it because you don't know what else to say to me. Thank you, I guess. But if it's not genuine, please don't say it. Because it's going to hurt 30 times worse if you do something that's very, very hurtful. But I will say, one of the top people, like this is so off, but like one of the best people who ever gave me the best compliments and always made me feel 1,000% good about myself, always supported me, always called to check in on me while I'm here in school, was my Bishop Hargrove. Like, he was the ultimate best. Like, God rest his soul. But I would say he always gave me the best stories about my parents and how my parents always did a great job. He always made me feel warm on the inside, made me feel good, calling and checking out on me, even though he didn't have to. Because once again, he had a bunch of churches that he's looking over. He's a bishop, so meetings, people constantly calling him, asking him questions, and he took time out of his day. I would say he called me twice a week. Twice a week. Well, not all the time. It wasn't always twice a week. Sometimes it'd be once a week. But I wouldn't say there wasn't 4 weeks of going where he didn't call me or I didn't reach out to him. So I feel like I could always trust him. Like, he gave me the best compliments. Even sometimes the compliments would be like, and like randomly, like those of you all who went to Refuge, randomly stopped service to like make comments or say something or tell a story in the middle of his sermon, and I'm trying to sit in the corner do my homework. And so I think that was so off topic. I'm sorry, y'all. That was just like back down memory lane. But like one of the top people I could always trust that their compliments or their check-ins or their prayers was genuine praying for me. Or like when he had the best discernment too. Call me, but like, do not. And I'd be like, don't do what? He'd be like, I already discerned it. And I was like, okay. So random, sorry, off topic. But yeah, don't be fake. That's the term. That's what us youngins say. Don't be fake. Like, if you really don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And I won't be here. Me personally, I mean, I don't know about nobody, any other people. Me, if you don't say nothing to me at all, I'm okay. I'm not, I'm not gonna be hurt. I know who I can talk to, who I can't talk to. But I just prefer people not be fake to my face and then talk about me like a dog behind my back. So these are my church hurt points. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to make a part 3. It's in decision making. I would let you all vote on it, but nah, I'm not going to let y'all do that. So I might come out with a part 3, I might not. So this is part 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, stay tuned. All right.